The power of the line. As a pen artist, I love to work with pen and ink, and I love drawing with it in any way, whether I'm doing birds, animals, landscapes, whatever. But I particularly like the way watercolor and ink work together. And I like this little sketchbook exercise of coloring on and drawing on watercolored prepared paper. So I often prepare my paper ahead of time, and then I just go in and do some drawing. So here's some examples of some of the things I've done. I like this kind of mixture here. I love the way the power of the line goes in and separates. Look at this neat shape coming down here, and yet it kind of echoes what the flower is doing. So I like what's happening here. Here's another example of one of my prepared pages, and then I did a landscape with it. And I really like what's happening here. This kind of echo here, how this kind of grabs it, pulls it. And just what's happening in the landscape here, in the mixture and the undergrowth. It kind of looks interesting. Another example is this one here. Two striking colors, just mixing them up and then putting in the drawing. And look at how this tree kind of comes alive. And so does this bank with all these colors mixed in and the way they work together. And yet the ink separates those colors and makes some of the blue part of the tree and then leaves the rest as background. I just love how that line works that way and creates those kinds of things throughout the picture. So today I want to show you how to do one of these kind of sketchbook activities. First of all, I have a page of my book. Often I do the full page across, but this particular paper seems to warp, so I tend to just work on the one page in this particular book. And so then I picked two colors that kind of look nice together, just in case I have a little bit of blue here, in case I think I need to drop a little bit of it in. But generally I try and just pick two colors and let them do their thing. I have a big brush, and now what I'm trying to do here is just put some color on the page. I want it to be an interesting bit of color. I know that the book is going in this direction, so the picture will probably be in this direction. It doesn't really matter where the focal point is or what I'm going to draw with it. It's just a matter of making an interesting shape and design with the colors that I'm using. So here I have an orange mixed with cad orange mixed with quin red, and to make a kind of peachy bit of color here. So I'm just kind of putting this on, trying to get some interesting shapes here. One of the things though is I want to make sure I go right to the edge on at least three sides of the picture. Like this is a neat shape that's happening here, right? So put some red on, or peachy red. And now I'm going to add a little bit of green in here and just kind of make it interesting. As I say, haven't quite decided what I'm going to draw on this page, but that really doesn't matter. I just want to make this an interesting kind of shape. And just mixing a few lines. Now just looking at that, that's kind of looking interesting already, eh? Just make sure it takes it off the page. And I'm looking to make sure I don't have anything too dark. I'm going to use pen and ink on it, but it's nice if I have a few just sort of dark areas. So I might just see if I can darken up a little bit in here. No, not really want to go that dark, that green. So I'll just leave that for a bit. Okay, so you can do a lot, you can do a little. I like to make sure I leave at least some white space. As you can see here, I did quite a bit on this page on this side, smearing it around quite a bit, and then kind of loosening it up over there. So it really doesn't matter what you do. Decided I needed a little bit of blue after all. So I don't want to fiddle, but I'm going to add a little bit more blue. Okay, well, I'm back at my sketchbook again. As you can see, my colors are all dry, and I've picked a picture. I have been out hiking in our local park here, and the skunk cabbage are coming out. I know a lot of people don't like skunk cabbage, but I kind of find skunk cabbage kind of interesting and neat and really colorful at this time of year when everything is so dark. So that's what I'm going to draw. So I'm not worried about what's here. I'm going to think about my skunk cabbage and place it on the paper. And for my drawing, I'm basically just doing a few points to know. There's the small stem here, and I'm looking at this blob. It's kind of going to be like here. And then I have another stem that comes up over here with another flower on it, and that's going to be in this area, and that's going to be up here. And then after that, above this one here, I have a leaf that's going to come up. It's going to be there. And then I'm going to have this other leaf that comes out here. So that's basically all I'm going to do for my pencil work. My goal is to go right to pen, and that should be your goal at some point. This is probably not enough pencil work for what you would like to do, but go ahead and do some more pencil work, but at the same time, challenge yourself to be able to pick up that pen and go for it. And in terms of pens, my two favorite ones are the 3 and the 5. I'll be working with the 5, and I might do a bit of shading with the 3 just because it's nice to have that soft touch of a thinner line. The Staedtler puts out another pen that's just as good as the Micron. I just happen to be a Micron person. The big thing you want to look for is archival ink and that it's permanent. And that way you don't have to worry if your watercolor is even damp, if your colors are fine, if you decide to put some watercolor on top. Again, the colors are fine because they're not going to run. So that's why I prefer to use a permanent pen instead of just a water-soluble pens. So I'm just going to get started, and yeah, I've got this line here for that little thing there, and that line's just an indicator of where things are going to be. So I'm just going to start, and I know that whatever I do here has got to be in this shape, and it can't go past that size. And so now I'm just going to get drawing. So I'm going to leave you for a little bit, and I'll work on the drawing, and then I'll come back. So I'll let you catch up with me. Talk to you soon. So my drawing is starting to get underway, and as you can see, one of the things when you're drawing is I've started with the front, and now I'm doing the back. It's kind of opposite what you do when you're painting, but when you're drawing, you need to do, especially with ink, you need to do the stuff in front and then work behind. And so that's why I started with this little piece here. It was in front, and then I'm using it as a basis of finding all the other pieces and their relationship in this drawing. Well, I've got my skunk cabbage finished, and as you can see, some neat things are happening. One of the things I wanted you to notice was taking it over the page. Don't hesitate to go over to the side, and I'll put some of my write-up over there. Did I add more color? No, I usually don't. But at the same time, I am kind of tempted to maybe include a little bit more blue over in here. But I do like the randomness of the color. For example, I love what's happening in this leaf right here. Look at these nice color changes that are going on. How this red or pink or whatever you want to call it. Notice how just having this dark light and shading here, it pulls this, put this in the back and pulls this forward and puts it into the leaf. That's what it kind of like, the part I really enjoy is how the line has such power to do that. It does the same up here with this green, in that this green here becomes the background and this green becomes the leaf. And again, it's that push-pull of the line and what it's doing. So those are neat things that are happening. You'll find that this is a neat way to do some drawing and just get in there. Not having that blank page to draw from is really something. I did use both the 3 and the 5 in my pens, although I do find the darker line shows up better with the color, and so this is predominantly done with the 05. I might even try an 8 next time just because it's a bigger picture and I think it could take that. So I hope you've enjoyed this little activity with using your pens and your watercolor. There'll be there's other information about this on my blog, Art by Wendy's blog, and you'll find that helpful as well in working with this kind of an activity. Have a good day and have fun with your drawing.